that Chair Nye and Commissioner Glenn Winkle are excused and absent for the meeting. The visitor section of the agenda is an opportunity for members of the public to address the Planning Commission on a non-agenda issuer item. Anyone wishing to speak should indicate this to staff and wait for your name to be called. Does anyone wish to address the Planning Commission on a non-agenda issue? I am not seeing anyone, and it looks like there's no one over there. So staff has stated that we do not have any visitors. All right, so that moves us on to Commission communications. We are now at Commission communications. Commission, are there any communications? Nope. Moving right along to staff communications. Staff, are there any communications?
Good evening, Vice Chair McCann. I am Anna Slatinsky, Planning Division Manager in the Community Development Department at Beaverton. I just have one announcement. This Sunday, June 25th, is Beaverton Pride Celebration. There's a parade starting at City Park at about 11 a.m. and lots of fun entertainment and activities. So come on down. And that is all for my announcements tonight.
Okay. Thank you. That sounds wonderful. All right, so on to new business. The first item on the agenda is the application for LU 32023-00186, Leupold and Stevens Inc. Annexation case numbers CPMA 32023-00184 and ZMAX 2023-00185. The Planning Commission's decision to recommend adoption of a land use and zoning map amendment must be based on consideration of 1, the statewide planning goals and administrative rules adopted under ORS Chapter 197, and 2, applicable federal and state statutes or rules, 3, applicable plans and rules adopted by Metro, and 4, the city's comprehensive plan and development code, including the Beaverton Comprehensive Plan, Section 1.5.1.b, and Beaverton Development Code, Section 40.97.15.4. Testimony, arguments, and evidence must be directed toward these approval criteria or other criteria in the Comprehensive Plan or Development Code that the speaker believes to apply to the application. Failure to raise an issue accompanied by statements or evidence sufficient to allow the Planning Commission and other interested parties an opportunity to respond to the issue may preclude an appeal to Land Use Board of Appeals based on that issue. Anyone who submits written comments or gives oral testimony has standing to appeal this decision. Failure of the applicant to raise constitutional or other issues relating to the proposed conditions of approval with sufficient specificity to allow the city to respond to the issue may preclude an action for damages in circuit court. State and local law require commissioners to make certain disclosures. The Planning Commission must be impartial, and members shall not have any bias or personal or business interest in the outcome of the application. To these ends, the following questions will be asked. Does any commissioner have a potential or actual conflict of interest, ex parte contacts, or site visits to declare? Commissioner Akal?
And none to 3, all 3.
Okay. Commissioner Ellis?
I have no by the book conflicts with any of those qualifiers. Just by pure transparency, I will say out loud, I'm a big fan of Leupold's products, and I have what some members of my household would consider an irresponsible dollar amount of their products in the house. So that's my relationship with the company as a customer. But outside of that, no normal conflicts.
Thank you. Commissioner Lawler?
No to all 3.
Commissioner Winter?
No to all 3, but I'm aware of the site from previous applications.
Okay, and no to all 3 for myself as well. Does any member of the audience wish to question a commissioner about ex parte contacts or site visits or challenge the right of any commissioner to participate in this hearing? I don't see anyone. Okay. So let the record show no response. The order of the public hearing tonight will be as follows. City staff will give a presentation followed by commissioners' questions of staff. Then members of the public in support of the application can speak for up to 5 minutes each. Then members of the public opposed to the application can speak for up to 5 minutes each. And then members of the public who are neither in support nor opposed will then have 5 minutes to speak. The Planning Commission will then hear any final comments from staff. We will now begin the staff presentation.
Okay, great. I am going to share my screen and start the presentation. There we go. Right. Good evening, Vice Chair McCann and commissioners. I'm Lauren Russell, an associate planner with the Community Development Department. Also here with me tonight is Long Range Planning Manager Brian Martin, who can jump on if you have any questions. He's here as well. The proposal before you tonight is the discretionary annexation-related comprehensive plan map and zoning map amendments associated with project LU3 2023-00186, Loophole and Stevens Inc. annexation. The numbers for the project and the case file numbers are going to start to look a bit different from here on out because of the new electronic permitting system. So that's why there's suddenly a lot more numbers, more digits. So any projects as of April 3rd of this year that came in will be in this new numbering system. So sorry if that throws you for a loop right now. The amendments are requested to apply a city land use designation and zoning to one parcel and right-of-way being annexed into the city through a separate but concurrent process. The parcel currently carries Washington County's industrial designation as depicted on the county's land use district map. The Washington County City of Beaverton Urban Planning Area Agreement, or UPAA, states in section 5B that upon annexation, the city shall initiate changes to the comprehensive plan, land use and zoning designations corresponding as closely as possible to designations already adopted by the county. The city shall maintain a list of county land use designations and the corresponding city comprehensive plan and zoning designations. Table 1 in section 1.5.2 of the comprehensive plan was adopted pursuant to UPAA section 5, which requires the city to maintain the list of corresponding county to city plan and zone designations, where the decision to apply a specific land use map designation is made under land use standards that do not require interpretation or the exercise of policy or legal judgment. Comprehensive Plan Section 1.5.2.a states that county land use districts not consistent with Table 1 shall be subject to a Type 3 discretionary process. Table 1 does not contain the county industrial land use district, and therefore a discretionary process is required to determine the corresponding city plan and zone designations for the subject parcel zoned county industrial. This map shows the location of the subject parcel and the small portion of abutting Northwest Greenbrier Parkway right-of-way identified in blue as the area proposed for annexation, and that is in relation to Beaverton city limits, which are in light yellow on this map. The subject parcel abuts city limits to the north, west, and south. The site is currently developed with an approximately 47,000 square foot warehouse with accessory offices. The proposal is a discretionary annexation-related comprehensive plan map amendment to apply a city land use designation to the subject site, and a discretionary annexation-related zoning map amendment to apply a city zoning district to the subject site. Please note that this proposal does not include any specific development or uses. It is just for the plan map and zoning map amendments. Okay. The comprehensive plan and zoning district matrix is found in the land use element of the comprehensive plan, which is chapter 3. What you see in this slide is an excerpt from that table showing the city's employment and industrial land plan designations. Staff proposes that the subject site be assigned the industrial land use designation upon annexation. This map shows the county land use districts and city land use designations surrounding the site. The subject parcel abuts the city's employment designation to the north and west, and the city's lower density neighborhoods designation to the south. To the east is Washington County Industrial District. The applicable approval criteria for this comprehensive plan amendment are that the designation is consistent with city comprehensive plan policies in the land use element and or is consistent with the county land use districts. The subject property currently carries Washington County Industrial designation, and it is developed with a warehouse. For these reasons, staff only analyzed city comprehensive plan policies for the industrial land use designation. Because the subject property is in an area with excellent truck route access, which is consistent with comprehensive plan policy 3.9.3.e for industrial areas, staff finds that the industrial land use designation is appropriate for the subject site. And because both the city's industrial land use designation and the county's industrial district prioritize industrial uses while allowing some limited commercial uses to serve employees, staff finds that applying the city's industrial land use designation to the subject property is also consistent with the county's industrial land use district. Therefore, staff finds that the application satisfies the approval criteria for a quasi-judicial annexation-related comprehensive plan amendment. As a post-acknowledgement plan amendment to the city's comprehensive plan land use map, the proposed comprehensive plan amendment is also subject to ORS 197.175 subsection 1, which requires the city to demonstrate that the proposal is consistent with relevant statewide planning goals. Staff has determined that 4 goals are applicable, and those are citizen involvement, goal 1, goal 2, land use planning, goal 9, economic development, and related to that one is an Oregon administrative rule for designating lands for industrial and employment uses. And lastly, goal 12, transportation. Staff found that the proposed comprehensive plan amendment is consistent with those 4 goals, as well as the Oregon administrative rule related to goal 9. The map on the screen shows the county land use districts and city zones surrounding the site. The subject parcel abuts the city office industrial zone to the north and west, the city residential mixed C or RMC zone to the south, and Washington County's industrial district to the east. There are 2 implementing zoning districts for the industrial comprehensive plan designation, industrial and office industrial. Staff proposes that the subject site be assigned the industrial zoning district upon annexation. The applicable approval criteria for this zoning map amendment are in section 4097-15C3C in the Beaverton Development Code. Although the office industrial zone more closely corresponds to the city industrial designation in building height, both the industrial and office industrial zones otherwise equally correspond to the county industrial designation and site development standards. And then regarding uses, there are 61 uses that are listed in Beaverton Development Code Table 2015-20A, which is the table for the employment industrial category specific uses. 36 of these uses are either outright or conditionally permitted in the county industrial designation, while 34 of the uses allowed in the county industrial designation would also be either outright or conditionally permitted in the city industrial zone. Only 17 of those uses would be allowed outright or conditionally permitted in the city office industrial zone. Because 34 is far more than 17, the city industrial zone much more closely corresponds to the county industrial designation in allowed uses. So for these reasons, staff finds that the most appropriate zone for the subject property is industrial. Staff finds that the proposal to apply the city's industrial land use designation and industrial zone to the subject property and abutting right-of-way meets all applicable approval criteria. Therefore, staff recommends approval of LU 3 2023-00186, Leupold and Stevens Inc. annexation, case file numbers CPM83 2023-00184 and ZMAX 3 2023-00185. Planning Commission's approval would be forwarded as a recommendation to City Council to adopt an ordinance applying the industrial land use designation and industrial zone effective 30 days after adoption of the ordinance or upon the effective date of the related annexation, whichever occurs later. This concludes staff's presentation. Both I and Brian Martin are available to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions of staff with regard to the proposed application? Commissioner Ellis.
Yeah, hi. Great presentation. That cleared up a lot of things for me from the materials that were sent over. This actually might be like an Anna question, but from a scope of approval standpoint or scope of recommendation standpoint, this proposal comes from the city. It looks to meet, the letter of the law as Lauren laid things out there. Like, it was all really straightforward and understandable there. We're not hearing anything, obviously, from the tenants who are currently on the site and how this change could potentially affect their rights, their options, et cetera, et cetera. Is that kind of question in the scope of this body to talk about whatsoever, or are we strictly voting or recommending on just this material right in front of us?
So, good question. The city has is considering this annexation proposal because the property owner has requested annexation. And that request occurred because with the development of the warehouse that's on the property, it's newly constructed, they actually needed to receive city services. And so the city has a policy of not providing services outside the city boundaries. So in order to develop this warehouse, they needed to agree to annex to the city. In order to facilitate the timing of the development of that warehouse, a deferred annexation agreement was entered into between the city and Leupold that basically allowed them to continue to quickly develop under the county rules. When that development was complete, the city then would move forward with the annexation process. So that's just a little background. It's not, strictly speaking, relevant to your decision to apply the different designations, because the annexation itself is actually something that's decided by council. However, that is the kind of background context for this particular annexation. And there is the user of the property is the same as the property owner at this point. There's not a separate entity that is a tenant.
Perfect. Okay. That was exactly what I was hoping to hear. So I appreciate it.
Okay. Do any other commissioners have questions of staff? Nope, seeing none. Thank you, Lauren. I think we'll move on to the next step. So we are now at the public testimony portion of our meeting. We will call for testimony in groups, starting with those in favor of the application and those in opposition to the application, and then those neither in favor nor in opposition. Do we have anyone wishing to speak? There are none. And I assume that there are none who are, well, do we have anyone in favor or opposed, or neither in favor or opposed? None at all. Okay. Thank you. Let the record show that staff has said there's no one wishing to speak. So, does staff have any final comments?
No, we're good.
Thank you. All right, with final comments completed, I will close the public hearing, and as is stated, I will randomly poll commissioners to state their conclusions on the application. Commissioner Akal?
I agree with staff's recommendation.
Great. Commissioner Ellis?
Yeah, I previewed my major concern there, and that solidified it. So I don't have any major worries with this.
Great. Commissioner Lawler?
I believe it meets the criteria for approval, or recommendation for approval.
Great. And Commissioner Winter?
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement. It meets the criteria.
Okay, great. And I agree with my fellow commissioners that this appears to meet the criteria. So is there a motion? Does anyone want to jump in on this?
I could jump in. I think I'll have to figure out all the numbers. Okay, I move that we forward a recommendation of approval to City Council for case file LU 32023-00186 for the Leopold and Stevens Comprehensive Plan Amendment, CPMA 320323-00184, and the zoning map amendment 3223-00185, based on the facts and findings found in the staff report of June 14th, 2023.
Is there a second?
I'll second the movement or motion, sorry.
All right, great, thank you. So Commissioner Lawler moved for approval, or for recommendation for approval. Commissioner Ellis seconded. Is there any discussion? Nope. So a vote will be taken by roll call. When your name is called, please say yay or nay. Commissioner Akal?
Yeah.
Commissioner Ellis?
Yay.
Commissioner Lawler?
Aye.
Commissioner Winter?
Aye.
And I will vote aye as well. The motion passes, or the motion passes unanimously. The Planning Commission's recommendation will be memorialized in land use orders that will be provided to all parties that provided oral and written testimony. The Planning Commission's recommendation will be forwarded to City Council. Council will hold a hearing and make the final decision on this application. If you would like to appeal this decision, you must appeal in accordance with the applicable provisions in the Beaverton Development Code and the rules of the Land Use Board of Appeals. All right, so we will move on to old business. The second item on the agenda is the continuance request for Raleigh Hills Elementary School, case numbers ADJ 2022-0005, CU 2022-0012, DR 2022-0155, LD 2022-0020, LLD 2022-0008, SDM 2023-0001, TP 2022-0016. The applicant has requested a continuance to a date uncertain. Is there a motion to continue this application?
I will move to continue the application, and just for practice purposes, I'd love to read out all these numbers. The Raleigh Hills Elementary School applications, including ADJ 2022-0005, CU 2022-0012, DR 2022-0155, LD 2022-0020, LLD 2022-0008, SDM 2023-0001, and TP 2022-0016.
Right. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right. Commissioner Ellis moved for approval. Lawler seconded. So a vote will be taken by roll call. When your name is called, please say yay or nay. Commissioner Winter,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Call,
Aye.
Ellis, Commissioner Ellis,
Aye.
Commissioner Lawler,
Aye.
and I vote aye as well. The motion passes unanimously. The Raleigh Hills Elementary School application will be continued to a date uncertain. City staff will provide public notice at least 20 days prior to the new public hearing date in accordance with section 50.45 of the Beaverton Development Code. For any questions, please contact Lena Smith at 971-313-4244. So next we'll move on to the meeting minutes. The only other item on the agenda is the meeting minutes for the May 24, 2023 meeting. Is there a motion? Commissioner Winter,
Sure. I'll move to approve as submitted.
do we have a second?
I can second that.
So Commissioner Winter moves for approval. Commissioner O'Call is a second. So I guess I will vote by name. Commissioner Lawler,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Ellis,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Winter,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Call,
Aye.
and I will abstain because I was not at the meeting. So motion passes with four in favor and 1 abstention.
Sorry,
Oh,
Chair,
abstain.
apologies real fast.
Yeah.
When we have a more limited number of commissioners, is 4 a passing vote? I'm sorry, this is an educational question for me.
Commissioner Ellis, that's an excellent question. The way that the vote works is that there needs to be a quorum present for the meeting to be a legitimate meeting, but a measure passes when the majority of people voting approve it.
Perfect, thank you. Sorry for the interruption.
Good question. Thank you. All right. So that was our last item. So with that, we are now adjourned at 7 p.m. All right. Thank you, everyone.